Well, in his much anticipated weekly newsletter, Chris Wood this time touches upon quite a few important topics. He also touches upon how he's made a couple of changes, how he stuck to his strategy of the opening up trade, and also how he worries about, number one, the renewed lockdowns that he's seeing in certain parts, and number two, about how logistics could prove to be a bit of a challenge when it comes to the distribution of the vaccine. Now, what's actually happened is that Chris Wood starts off saying that there has been renewed negative focus on the course of the pandemic, and according to him, it is not really surprising since deaths in the US continue to rise. Now, the most important worry, as per Chris Wood, is that the bottleneck is not in coming up with the vaccine itself, but rather producing it at scale. The other thing that Chris Wood mentions is that he believes that small localized shutdowns is something that could spook markets, but however, he believes that most of the economies will, at this point of time, not really go in for a full-sized or full-scale lockdown. Now, what he is saying is that despite all of these new worries emerging or re-emerging, he believes that greed and fear will stick with the cyclical trade and advises investors to add to any cyclical exposure on any kind of pullback that the markets may witness. Also, he believes that greed and fear continues to believe in the recommended back to normal trade, and according to Chris Wood, with the year end nearing, it has prompted the greed and fear to make some more adjustments in the Asia Pacific ex-Japan relative return portfolio. That is a trade typically that he gives out for the next 6 months. Now, what he is saying is that given the fact that asset allocation here is traditionally being done with a 6-month view, he believes that value will continue to outperform, and because of that, he believes greed and fear is forced to reduce the allocation to China this week by 2 percentage points, and in fact what he is doing is he is adding 1 percentage point each, both to India as well as Korea, in the relative return portfolio. When it comes to India-specific trades, what Chris Wood has done is that he has removed his investment in SBI Life Insurance and he has replaced it by a 4% investment in ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, and very interestingly, he has further upped his stake in ICICI Bank. The investment in ICICI Bank is all set to increase by 1 percentage point. Now, most importantly, what he is saying is that he has also spoken quite in depth about the low interest rates overall, and he is saying that talking about upcoming Christmas festival, he believes that it's quite worrisome that a whole host of economies and some countries in Europe are actually looking for further localized lockdowns. He believes that lockdown could be quite disastrous for the economy, and this is something that he has continued to maintain all throughout. So Chris Wood continues to maintain his stance, and in fact he increases his positive stance when it compared to the other valuation benchmarks. Overall, quite a positive note as far as India is concerned from Chris Wood this particular time.